Hi, we're back again for video number 2. So in this video we're going to talk about the health implications, especially something like this property where we know we've had rodents in. So I should imagine, if you remember back to earlier on in 2025, there was the sad passing away of Gene Hackman and his wife Betty. Now, Betsy died of the Hantavirus, or to give it its full name, the Hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, which is quite rare, and it's transmitted through rodents, through their droppings, through their urine, through their saliva. So, for example, if you've had, say, activity in a loft with rats in it, obviously after a while the droppings break down, become airborne, urinal evaporates, it becomes airborne, you breathe it in, and that's how you contract the virus. Now in the UK it's very unusual to get the hantavirus, but you can get a strain of it called the salmonella. It has the same effect, and it's generally spread by brown rats. Now brown rats, commonly known as the Norwegian or the sewer rats, are the most common rats in the UK. So the chances are, if you ever see a rat, it's going to be a brown rat. If you've got a rat in your house, it's going to be a brown rat. So you can see that they're quite extensive, and they're quite varied throughout the UK. Now the salmonella is transmitted through again, urines, droppings, saliva, into contaminated dust. So it causes what they call the hantavirus fever, or the HFRS, which is a hantavirus type infection, which you can catch in the UK. However, most residents in the UK are more likely to get a bacterial strain, and the bacteria that they'll get will probably be something like the weasel disease. It's not a virus, it's a bacteria, and it's the most common and the most serious rodent-borne bacteria infection in the UK. Again, it's spread through contact with rat urine, contaminated water, soil, drains or surfaces. So humans will experience things like flu-like symptoms, jaundice is one of them as well, or severe causes of kidney or liver damage. So as you can tell, it gets quite bad. And this is all from the droppings that you get, or the urine that you get from rats. So if you think about it, rats themselves will go to the toilet approximately 40 times a day. So if you've had 2 or 3 rats in your loft for a while, or like this property that we're in where we know there's been rats here for at least 3 months, you can imagine how much droppings there are up in the loft. Now we can tell how long the rats have been here by the colour of the droppings. So if you think about it, fresh droppings, so they're really black and shiny, and the reason why they're black and shiny is because they've got moisture inside. Now after a period of time, that moisture will start to evaporate, and it goes from being a shiny black to like a matte black, then to like a dark brown, and to eventually to a grey. Now as it goes through this process, it goes from being a soft, moist product to a hard, brittle product that eventually starts to crumble, and once it crumbles it turns into dust. And then you go up into the loft, you disturb that dust and you breathe it in, and that's how you contract the weasel disease. Now if you're going to get your insulation replaced, there's got to be certain processes that people that are doing your insulation have got to take to ensure that you remain healthy. So first and foremost, you've got to make sure that you proof the property. So things like dust sheets got to go down, carpet covers have got to go down, etc., before you even get into the loft. Now once you're in the loft, the loft insulation that's up there needs to be sprayed. So it needs to have biospray, and basically what that does is it locks all that dust into the insulation, so that when you roll it up, it's not becoming airborne, and obviously not going over the rafters of the roof or going through the roof loft hatch that while you're in there. So it's all contained. It's then got to be double bagged. Has to be double bagged, has to be zip tied while it's in the loft, and once it's removed off site, it has to be disposed of as a bio waste, because that's what it is. It's contaminated. It's a bio waste, so it's got to be disposed of correctly. Now once you've got all that insulation removed, you've got this lovely void. That void will still have droppings in it, etc., etc. That needs to be cleaned. The only way you can do it is literally get a hoover in there, clean it all up. Once that's all cleaned up, everything again needs to be sprayed just to lock everything in. So in case any dust has got up onto the rafters themselves, they've got to be sprayed so everything's locked in before you put down the new insulation. Now, I've been into properties where, for want of a better word, cowboys have been in there. And they've, quoted to do X job, and they've done something else where they've seen the insulation that's already up there is 100mm, and all they've done is gone out and bought 170mm and put that on top. And all they've done is they've sandwiched the contamination in between, which, is a bit bad. It shouldn't be like that. So before you engage anyone to do any loft insulation, double check with them, ask them what they do, see if they've got any clients that are willing to talk to them. Check the Google ratings, for example. I know we are only one of 2 pest controllers in the Midlands area that have got a 5-star Google rating, which I'm quite proud of. So always check out the webpage before you engage people. Next video we'll show you, it'll be how to do the loft insulation, because there is a correct way and a wrong way of doing it. We're not going to do it in this loft because the loft is quite tight and there's not much light up there. So I'm going to use this decorator's table and lay out a grid pattern that would represent the loft, just to give you an example. Right, until next time, it's been nice speaking to you.